Hello.
We are on this TV program. That's delicious.
Woo.
Woo! I like how you said woo. You excited for the show today, Elle?
Yeah, definitely.
Hello. I'm like pushing buttons all over the place. We are going to have an absolutely awesome show today. We have a phenomenal guest who's going to be on the show with us. Are you excited to have him on? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably not. I mean, you're not really into wine, are you? You're a little young. When was the last time you had wine, Ellie? Don't answer that question.
Church.
Church. Okay, that's a good response. That's good. Welcome to That's Delicious for May 12th, 2020. We are your we're your nightly show, Sunday through Wednesday. Although we tend to have shows often, I guess, a little bit more often than that. And we talk about all kinds of cool things that you and I find on the internet and cool people. Again, big giant thank you to Ryan and Jordan. Ryan, I owe you that picture. I got to sketch it up. It's on my to-do list now that I have my desk set up over here. We're in the new studio, I guess you can call it. I got a new desk. So it's not really a new studio, just a new desk. So remember to check out our Patreon and help us by subscribing. Today, we have an awesome guest. You can scoot off if you really want to, Elle, or you can hang out, whatever you like to do. We have an awesome guest, Michael Bottigliero from Bottles Nation. That's my man right there. I call him the sommelier in chief. How is it going, Michael? How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. It's so awesome to have you on today.
Well, I'm so honored to be on this here. So I was able to scoot away from the family for a little bit.
There you go.
On this broadcast. I know we're all sheltering in place, just trying to make it like it is. But hey, that's what we're doing. What are you doing right now?
Oh, I am same thing. Sheltering in place. We were just talking about growing my beard out, which it's a little difficult for me. Yeah, yours is nice and trim, but my wife dared me to grow it out, and now I can't back down. So it's gotta go. So this is about maybe 2 weeks worth right here. Still a little scruffy, but we'll get there.
Well, you're keeping the hair nice right now. It's hard to keep the hair good. No barbers around unless you can get the clippers. I never look good in clippers, even when I was in the Navy. When they cut all my hair off, I looked horrible. So I'm just going to leave it just grow.
Excellent. Well, you know what? I think that's a fantastic segue. You mentioned the Navy. Tell us first and foremost, who is Michael Bottigliero? Can I say like that? Bottigliero.
Yeah, the G is silent though.
So Bottigliero.
Bottigliero.
See, yeah. I added the r because I'm Eastern European. So okay, excellent. Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you're from and all that magic. What's your origin story? What's your superhero origin story?
Yeah, so I'm just a South Side Chicago guy. Grew up in an Italian-American household. My grandparents came here from the old country, and I grew up just eating spaghetti, Sunday dinners. Everything was a really big family kind of oriented kind of people, just like you are, Macedonians. I know how it is. My wife is Macedonian. You know all about her. And grew up like that, going to school, and I ended up. I was a very humble family. We didn't have tons of cash, so I ended up going to the Navy to help pay for my college.
Sure.
And so I did 4 years of that and came back and eventually graduated from UIC. The whole time, which is the University of Illinois, Chicago.
There you go.
I was working in restaurants and the bar scene the whole entire time. While I was in, and I just fell in love with the business. I couldn't get enough of it. It's such a fun industry. You get to meet all kinds of, all of your customers are from everywhere, from being in Chicago, the whole world. You're meeting people from everywhere. And it was such a fun time. I just don't want to leave the business even after graduation. So I'm like, well, where do I go with this history degree that I got? Do I go teaching or what do I do? I decided to stay in the restaurant and hospitality industry. So I centered in on wine. Since I'm a history addict, the history of wine just kind of caught me in.
That's cool.
I met some really great, knowledgeable people who kind of got me hooked. And then I ended up getting certified as a sommelier through multiple different agencies, and eventually found myself as a sommelier at the Intercontinental Hotel on Michigan Avenue.
Excellent.
Sooner or later,
you're getting hit on by your wife in the comments, by the way. Of course, she's asking if you're single. If you're not careful, Blogitza, by the end of this episode, he might be.
At least somebody's asking. That's good.
There you go.
But hey, through her awesome expertise, she's such a marketing whiz, especially the online aspect.
Sure, yes.
She just said, hey, we should be, because I would come home late at night and I would share all these wine stories about wine. Hey, somebody came in and asked for this bottle, so I gave them this recommendation and I told them why. And she's like, you should be putting this stuff on a blog or something. This was when blogging was so huge.
It's still huge, yeah.
It's still huge, but it's so funny because it seems like those days are so long gone because everybody's putting their little post
circling back in a different way.
Yeah, you're still kind of blogging, but on Instagram and all kinds of other agencies. And she brought me along, kicking and screaming through the whole thing. I mean, I didn't want to get on Facebook or any of the stuff, and then I got on it, started my own business as a sommelier consultant. I was a Windy City wine guy before. But then I was getting clients from all over the country. So I'm like, you know what? Just like Batman said, this is bigger. This is bigger than me.
Anytime somebody can mention Batman on a show that I'm on, I think it's a massive win. So definitely, thank you for that one. Thank you for that one.
He's one of my faves, and I just remember the line so much. This is bigger than me, so let's just make it Bottles Nation of something everybody can be a part of. So now we're just at Bottles Nation on Twitter, Instagram, bottlesnation.com. We were doing corporate tastings even across the country where I would fly in, or I would have one of my sommeliers fly in to a company and do a tasting for everybody. But now that this coronavirus thing has hit, I lost all my clients.
Wow.
Yeah, they either postponed or canceled their events.
Okay.
So I had no business in March or April. But we came up with such a great idea to do virtual wine tastings online.
Yes, I was going to say, so you took your expertise in bottlesnation.com right there. You took your expertise, and you said, you know what? I'm not going to. I may have lost physical clients, but I'm not going to use this as a stop. I'm not going to just sit down and wait this thing out. I know you're very proactive. Obviously, Blogitza is very proactive, and you guys both kind of combined and like Voltron, you've created this very, very cool direction, this concept. And how do you? And what I'm asking is, how do you serve people when they're stuck at home? You go into their home, just like we did with this show. You're doing something that's fantastic.
That's right. So the pivot was big. The 5 lions of Voltron came together and just kind of formed the big sword and everything. And we were able to bring the wine guide to everybody. So this is different than any other thing out there. So we started this before anybody started doing anything. Then all of a sudden we started noticing that wineries started doing virtual tastings, which is great. They should be marketing themselves like that. You have to pivot in a time like this. You have no other choice. So kudos to them. But ours is so much different because we're able to offer the whole spectrum of different wine brands to people. Not only that, but also the fact that you're able to sit there and ask a real wine expert question about wine, whereas on those with those other platforms, you're listening to them, you're watching them walk through vineyards and stuff, which I love. Don't get me wrong, but you don't get to that one-on-one time,
that interaction. Exactly. And right now, I've talked about this with Blogitza, with other folks. Innovation right now will get people not only. And you may not, I don't know how your clientele is going. I'm not going to ask about how much money you are or not making, but it's definitely different than if you were doing things in person. So it's right now is the time to really innovate and say, and you said you pivoted, and I don't know if that's going to be the full pivot, but you definitely innovated and said, let's try something, because even if we're not, let's say, getting as much funding or whatever as we were before, we're building up clientele in a different way, so that when we do start getting back out there, you've started bringing these people along with you. You've made yourself this expert. People are going to say, "Oh my gosh, I remember being on a virtual wine tasting with him, and he's going to be in my town. I'm totally going out there." So you've kind of done this different approach to connecting to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because I've met people from just huge companies like Twitter, Google, etc., on the East Coast, on the West Coast. So now they get to see me and they say, "Hey, you know what? I know this Midwest dude.
Sure,
I know, and he's a wine expert. And I've asked him all kinds of questions, and he was able to field all my favorite questions, everything that I wanted to know. So now I know this guy, and if I need him in the future, guess what? He's only a few clicks away."
It's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna show the website here real quick. So tell me, what is a virtual wine tasting? Give me the process of what being at one of your virtual wine tastings would be like.
Yeah, so it's so simple. So you can just go on the site and you can reserve your date and your time. So you would click on the top there, where it's now offering virtual wine tasting events. And you can book. You just
book right from the site. That's cool.
Right from the site. Yeah, it's so simple and easy. It tells you all the information there you need to know. But here's the basics of it. You're going to pick the amount of screens or different locations that will be involved.
Sure.
So like, let's say, hey, I'm going to invite 7 different people. Those people can invite whoever they want to be on that screen.
Oh, that's cool.
But it still only counts as one screen. So I'm going to invite 7 people. That means I'm going to pick these 7 through 12 per location tasting, which has a flat rate price. It's not per person. It's a flat rate price that you reserve for your 1 hour tasting with me. Then if you'd like, you can either go with so I offer a 4-pack of wines that I can have sent to anybody in the country. It's for $79.99, which includes tax and delivery. These are full bottles too, not half bottles. 750 milliliter each, and they get shipped right to your door, and that's per location. And then I can easily recommend different types of wine for everybody to join in, because like, let's say you have somebody from Denver joining in, somebody from San Diego, somebody from New York, and you're just like, "Hey, let's do a wine tasting. Can you recommend some wines?" Well, chances are we probably aren't going to be able to get the same producers.
Sure.
But I would just say, hey, get yourself a sparkling wine from Spain, a cava. Get yourself a white wine, a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and then go ahead and get yourself like a Rioja. And let's just get online and let's talk about all of it. So what I would do is I would group them all. In the beginning, I intro myself. I intro wine. Then we talk about the first wine. We'll talk about what kind of food pairings that would work with it the best. I field some Q&A. There's, of course, you can talk with your guests and you can just say, "Hey, you know what, how you guys doing?" And it's so informal. Everybody's joking and stuff. But we're eventually going to move on to the next wine. I'll talk about that a little bit and do some Q&A, but it's all fun. And like I mentioned, so informal, and everybody has a blast.
It's awesome. And you mentioned you even supply wines to people if for some reason, if they can't get it locally or whatever. And I think that is that extra little aspect that a lot of people tend to miss, because we've talked to people that own restaurants, people that own pizzerias. And I mentioned on a previous episode, pizzerias to me they seem to be leagues ahead of everybody else right now in situations like this. What I mean by that is, not only were they the very first ones to do sort of that curbside pickup aspect, but they also said, and friends of mine at Chubby Charlie's, they said, we're going to sell you a pizza kit at home, and we're going to give you the instructions of how to make pizza like how we make it. And we'll give you the basic pizza at a cheaper price, but now you'll have a taste of how we make our pizza, so that when you do come back for our specialty pizzas, you're already going to have that connection. And you're doing that right now with this sort of innovative approach. Like, hey, I'm not only are you just doing a wine tasting, but I'm going to, you're going to get wine. You're going to meet all these different people. You're going to connect. And guess what? You in that bottom left corner, I'll put the screen back up, you in that bottom left corner of the screen, by the way, you work over at let's say Google, and the person in the top right works over at Ford. All of a sudden, there's connections happening, and there could be all these really cool opportunities for people to do this.
It's true. And the cool thing
I'm sure you've already had that happen.
Yeah. So that's happened tons of times where because they're allowed to jump on my Zoom, which it's a little bit limited, of course, but I'll explain it in a second. But they can also have me jump on their own hosting platform, which works out the best because they can all mingle before I even get on in that hour session. I'll join in. I'll talk to everybody. You guys are all drinking and listening to wine facts and wine nerdery. But then after I'm done, I will cut out, and you guys still keep on talking and sharing ideas and all the other stuff.
Terrific.
And guess what? I've heard from so many of the people that have been on these tastings afterwards, and they're like, you know what? I want you for some of my clients. I want you for some of my employees. And it just kind of snowballs like that.
It's cool. And then the word of mouth keeps going on and on and on. And obviously, and Tony, by the way, says Michael has helped me tremendously with wine pairings for events.
I love Tony. Hi, Tony.
Tony also mentioned, he knows a girl, a little curly hair hottie who likes the Mama's Eye that you guys have over there.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. By the way, for the viewers, feel free to ask questions in the comments. They do pop up on the side for us, and I can bring them in. It's astounding to me, this idea that you're kind of taking the idea of wine tastings, and obviously maybe the same ambiance isn't quite there as yet. Unless we get these virtual reality headsets and we get augmented reality and that kind of stuff, which maybe, hey, you guys could be working on that without me even knowing. That's fantastic. Yeah, you got the big holodeck in the back over there. Yeah, there you go. But I think the opportunities for this, and not just wine tasting. And I brought you in because this is a prime way to connect with people. People want that escapism right now, right? And they want to. They're at home, and a lot of us are stuck home. I mean, some of us are able to get out, go to the grocery store, do a drive-by birthday party, which also are very cool, by the way. But this is a way to escape and connect with people in completely different ways. We've seen that with comedy shows. I've gone to a few live comedy shows, and I have one later tonight actually. And so this way that and they're all very personal, which to me is fantastic. And this idea of this personal connection, in times like this is so helpful. So, I mean, for you to be able to do this and to talk to people and be very one-on-one and be very open and frank, I mean, not only does it like warm my heart personally, this kind of stuff, and it brings positivity and cheer, but it really helps people through these times. And I think it's, in a weird way, it's this sort of, I don't want to say liquid therapy, but it kind of is. I mean, I have my glass over here ready to go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I got some whiskey tonight, though.
Oh, I have some whiskey. What kind you got there?
I've got some Michter's. This is toasted barrel finish, barrel strength.
Oh, nice. Michter's one of my favorite bottles.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites, and not just because they send me so many samples either.
I know whose house I'm hanging out at when we head out to that side of town. But yeah, you're able to kind of connect with these people, and so it was funny because I spoke to Blogitza and I said, I'd love to have Michael on. I think it'd be a lot of fun. When is he available? And she was very frank and said, yeah, he's swamped with these virtual wine tastings. Let me get back to you. And it took a few days because these things are starting to catch fire.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've done like 4 of them back to back. In one night, another one. It can be draining, but it's still fun. I have to admit, I told some of the people, I said, hey, sometimes maybe I should just be paying you guys. I'm getting my fix just talking to different people.
There you go.
Been stuck in my house, talking to my kids and my dog and my wife. I mean, forever, just like all of us have been. And walking around the neighborhood, sure, I'm doing that too. Mm-hmm. But I'm not getting that social interaction. This is kind of like a little bit of an outlet for me as well. Excellent. So a couple. I'm going to throw a few questions that I have, and then a few questions from the peanut galley, so to speak.
So what are you finding? Wine wise, one of the jokes that we've had is recycle bins are full of wine bottles right now. Right, everybody's going through all of their bottles at home because they're home, they're day drinking. What what are some of the things that you're finding about people sort of getting, it almost feels like people are getting back into wines in a completely different way right now. They're exploring their wine cellars in their basements and stuff.
Oh, definitely. I've heard from so many people that have said, oh, my wine cellar is emptying on me and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, you know what? Hit me up. I can just give you some recommendations on how to refill that wine cellar of yours, even though it's probably going to disappear pretty quickly unless we get out of this shelter in place kind of thing. But hey, you know what? At least you'll be happy in the meantime. You know what? Give yourself a little bit of variety. I know a lot of people, hey, this is America. We love American wines here. People love to go for their Cali wines for sure. Napa Valley cabs, etc. We're big wine drinkers, especially up here in the north too. Hey, we're in Michigan. It's a little bit colder.
Yep. Got Traverse City up there. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. We like our red wines during the wintertime. Try some different stuff. Go to Oregon for Pinots. Go to Washington for your cabs. Go to Europe a lot. Hey, most of us came from Europe. Not everybody, but most of us came. I mean, we've got a lot. Hey, shout out to all of our Asian Americans and African Americans too. Not everybody came from Europe, but hey, there's so many different. The longest history of wine goes back to Europe and Western Asia as well. So
wow. Excellent.
Definitely go check out.
Now's the time to explore. Is there like a hot wine right now, or a hot type of wine, or a hot brand that you're seeing more besides what you're providing, obviously?
So wow, just I think a lot of people are hitting into South Americans now, right? Because they're looking for those really big values. When you go to South America, that's exactly what you get. You get wines that are produced on land that doesn't cost so much. The labor doesn't cost a lot either. So of course that translates to the bottle price. You're getting a really high value wine for a lower cost and phenomenal stuff. If you want some stuff a little bit different, back from the old country, you know what? Hey, from your part of the world, the Balkans, these are just hot wines. These are some grapes that a lot of people might not be able to pronounce. Vranec, Plavic Mali from Croatia. These are stuff that most people haven't even heard of, but wow, you will be wowed by these wines for real. And they don't really cost that much either. I mean, you're not breaking your wallet or anything like that. So exactly.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, we've been trying out. We have a local a winery nearby over in Memphis. There's Sage Creek. There's a few other places nearby that kind of bottle their own stuff, and so we've been taking in some of the local things because we've never really done local wines. My wife and I, we've always. What was that, honey? Exactly. They're veteran owned. Yeah. The local place we go to, Sage Creek, is veteran owned and obviously supporting. And so we've been expanding our taste buds more as well. And so getting to try all these different types, I think is something that I feel is fantastic. So, and Tony says Macedonian wines are so underrated. That's very true. There's some fantastic ones out there. Spasa likes to ask, what level sommelier are you, if you don't mind me asking? So there were levels.
There are levels. So that's a good question. I'm going to say BC, before children.
Okay.
I was able to seek out my Court of Masters, intermediate certified, and the certified, which is a level 2. After that, you have an advanced certified and the master certified. I also got my advanced certification from the Wine Spirits Education Trust. There's only the diploma level after that. And I have 2 levels of the International Sommelier Guild as well. I had it on my list, my bucket list, to go higher in all of those. However, BC came to no more BC. It was AD. So after, or Anno Domini, I don't know what I'm trying to think of a good acronym.
Always drunk. I don't know.
Always drunk. So those kids came, and I was like, I do not have the time for this or the patience. No more certifications. I'm done. And you know what? Maybe after they have flown the coop, which is probably 10, 20 years from now, because my kids, I'm hoping they're going to be more of the European style, where they're going to stay home for a little while.
I'm the same way with my little one over there, Ellie.
We'll see how it goes. But you know what? I'll leave that for another day. But those are the certifications I have. So I have 5 right now.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So I won't keep you that much longer. I know we're already getting close to our time here. Any kind of final notes for folks that you want to kind of mention? Anything? Any plugs you want to give?
Yeah. So I'm gonna just say that. Well, of course, if you don't want to do a virtual tasting in your home, feel free to reach out, send information or ask something on Twitter at Bottles Nation, Instagram at Bottles Nation, hello at bottlesnation.com. Ask any wine question you want. You don't have to pay for a virtual tasting to just get simple information. Like I said before, I'm a Southside Chicago dude. I'm blue collar. I have been my whole life. I have no problem giving away the freebies. Information. People always need to know information. So these are just little simple snippets that people always need. A recommendation for dinner, whatever. I'm out to give it to everybody.
Excellent. Excellent. Definitely look up Michael. I think it's fantastic. I think the idea is blowing up. You're making this whole situation that much better for so many people. And you're being very personable. You're being proactive. You're reaching out, and it definitely shows. So Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was so awesome to have you on.
It was a pleasure, and you stay safe. Everybody else out there, please stay safe. Guard yourselves, guard your family, especially your loved ones who are a little bit older in age, and the youngsters too. I know there's a lot of crazy information going out there, back and forth. It's really tough out there, but you know what? Trust in the experts who know a little bit more than us, and really keep everybody safe. We'll be out of this pretty soon. Yeah.
In the meantime, trust that expert that I'm looking at right there, Michael, and definitely head over to Bottles Nation. I even wore my shirt. I got my Game of Thrones I drink and I know things shirt. So I'll be taking down this vino right here. And so I'm excited. And Michael, thank you again. Take care. Spasa says he just followed you on a few of your socials. So that's good.
Nice. Thank you.
Take care. And we will definitely chat very soon.
I got that. See you soon.
See you. All right. Well, that was fantastic. And Eliana will be joining me back here in just a second as she throws stuff around the room. It was very cool to have him on. I learned a lot about wine. Did you learn a lot about wine? You're still too young. Hide yourself here. Come on. You're a young lady. Your shirt is short. I know, it's terrifying. You're going to give Dad a heart attack. Oh, kids these days. I didn't realize that they made midriff pajamas for kids. Anyways, there's Michael. You know what he's doing? He's taking a knife and he's chopping the top of the bottle off. And then he's going to drink the wine that comes out of it. Isn't that kind of amazing? It's cool. It's kind of cool to watch people do that. Again, find them at bottlesnation.com, Facebook, all the other socials, Bottles Nation. Now it's time for Eliana's joke of the day. Eliana, what is your joke of the day?
When a duck goes shopping, does it pay cash or check?
I don't know. How does a duck pay?
Neither. They put it on the bill.
Oh, that is good. They put it on the bill. This has been Eliana's joke of the day.
And unfortunately, you don't have a Mackle short.
I don't have a Mackle short this week or today. I'm sorry. I had one yesterday. She's giving me bunny ears again. This has been That's Delicious. Delicious. Thank you very much to Michael for being on the show. We look forward to chatting with everybody again tomorrow on That's Delicious. Delicious. I said it again. Delicious. We love you. Remember, sadness goes away. You don't stay angry forever. That fades. But you know what's always there? Love. We'll see ya. Wait, I got to get this out of the way so you don't cover your face. I think you're purposefully trying to get in behind the microphone. Bye, everybody. We'll see ya. Take care.
Bye.